The Carabao Cup semi-finals have been decided, and we know who will blank in game week 26. We'll also find out who has made it through to the FA Cup, which means that we have a greater idea of who is going to double and blank for the rest of the season. Let's get into this video where I build the best wildcard draft you can do, you can build, you can play in game week 22. Let's get into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wildcards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
Good day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Root, and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, I'm going to be building the best possible wildcard draft you can play in game week 22. So we now have a little bit more information about a couple blanks and a couple double game weeks. So Liverpool and Chelsea have made it through to the Carabao Cup final. So that means they are going to blank in game week 26. That also means their fixtures, which are Spurs, so Chelsea would have played Spurs and Liverpool would have played Luton, will end up being blank. So they will blank too, Tottenham and Liverpool, as well as Luton and Chelsea. It hasn't been actually confirmed that the double game week in 25 for Liverpool and Luton has been announced, but it likely is to be announced very, very soon. We've also seen a few fixtures happen in the FA Cup, which has meant that a few fixtures later on down the line are not going to be blanks, and some big teams are going to be playing in end game weeks. For example, Tottenham got knocked out by Man City, so their fixture against Fulham will be going ahead in game week 29. Brentford, we know already, their fixture against Burnley will be going ahead for definite, and there's some other fixtures that are likely to be going ahead, like Chelsea v Arsenal, because that was a draw, that game, the FA Cup game between Villa and Chelsea, and you've always got to fancy Aston Villa to get through in that game. So that should see that fixture be on in game week 29. So this wildcard draft does take all of that into consideration, and does take into consideration the most likely outcomes to happen in terms of blanks and double game weeks. First of all, though, I just wanted to say thank you all for watching the videos. Please make sure, if you are new, to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, leave a like on this video if you do like it. So we'll start off with the goalkeeper. I have gone for the cheaper options, so Areola and Turner. I just feel like the fact that you can get a starting goalkeeper from West Ham, who are actually not a bad team, for 4.2 million, I think it's a no-brainer. Also, Matt Turner has been starting recently for Nottingham Forest, even when Nuno's come in, he's still kept faith in Turner. For example, with Areola, if we're talking about blanks and doubles, if Chelsea do end up beating Aston Villa in the replay, the FA Cup replay, then West Ham's fixture in game week 29 against Aston Villa will go ahead. So that is another one to take into consideration. So if Chelsea do end up beating Aston Villa in that replay, then having Areola could be a really, really good option. Also, it is, I guess, I don't know what way I want to put this, but it is likely that Nottingham Forest v Luton will go ahead in game week 29 too. Obviously, that's not guaranteed, as Luton did progress to the next round of the FA Cup, but it is likely that will go ahead in terms of their projected fixtures. So that's why I've gone for these two in goal. I think there's no point spending more than you need to on goalkeepers. You can get two starting goalkeepers for a combined 8.1 million. I think it's a no-brainer to just go for them and just hope that West Ham and Forest can just start putting in defensive performances and getting you some points. Defense, on the other hand, I have gone, I'd say, a little bit big on defense. So no player, well, there's only one 4.5 million, and the rest are 5 million and above. We'll start off with the three that I am starting in game week 22 for this wildcard draft. So Estupinan, really for him, it's just the next few fixtures that are just looking really, really nice for Brighton. He's back now, he's back from injury, he's playing well, he's got a couple of returns already. So for me, I just think he's a really, really nice option. They've kept two back-to-back clean sheets. since he's come back into the team, and he actually scored a goal when he came on against Spurs in game week 19. So yeah, for me, I really do like Estupiñán, especially his attacking threat and the fact that Brighton have had 2 clean sheets in a row since he's been back. So that's always a good thing. So for the fixtures though, Luton away next in game week 22, then Palace at home, then Spurs away, then Sheffield United away, and then Everton at home in game week 26. So he is projected to have a fixture in game week 26, but like we said, the Carabao Cup finalists won't have a fixture. Well, he definitely will have a fixture. In 29, though, it is projected that Brighton will blank, but I think the fixtures up until then do look really, really good for Estupiñán. So that's why I've got him in my team. I think he can go to someone else later on down the line if you are struggling for that blank game week. Pedro Porro stays in the team, although Spurs do blank in 26. I think the fact that they don't blank in 29 and they have Fulham away, I think that coupled with Spurs' next few fixtures are not too bad. They've got Brentford at home, Everton away, Brighton at home, Wolves at home. So 3 home games out of the next 4. Obviously, they're blank in 26. And then they've got Crystal Palace, Villa away, Fulham away, Luton at home, West Ham away, Forest at home. So some really good fixtures there for Spurs. Obviously, the big concern is clean sheets for Pedro Porro. I don't think Spurs are solid defensively, but we've seen them, yeah, to be honest, especially the last few game weeks, but we've seen it all season that he's actually done very, very well attacking wise. No goals as of yet, but he has got 8 assists. So for me, that is a player I want in my team, and I'll just have to kind of make do when he does blank in game week 26. And he could also go maybe right before that if needed. Alexander Arnold is the next starter, so he did miss game week 21, but he should be back for game week 22. He was pictured in training. Yeah, I don't really have a worry about that. Another player that is blanking in game week 26. However, he doesn't have great fixtures until then. So it is a player that doesn't really go along the same lines as Pedro Porro, where he has good fixtures, but he's blanking. He has pretty bad fixtures, but and the big thing for Liverpool, so they've got Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, which is obviously, I guess, some of the tougher ones in the league, albeit Chelsea are a bit inconsistent this season, but you still probably class them as a tougher fixture, I'd say. Then they've got Burnley at home, and then they've got a double game week of Brentford away and Luton at home before they're blank. And then even after they're blank, they have Forest away. So for me, them fixtures kind of from 24, 25 to 27, where they do double, I think it's worth carrying Trent and just benching him for that blank game week in 26. I think Trent can do the business against anyone. To be honest, I think Jurgen Klopp saying it's going to leave at the end of the season it's just going to push Liverpool to do so well this season. And now I kind of fancy them to win the league after that news has come out. So that's why I've gone for Trent. I think, yeah, having Trent for a double game week is a great option, and he could potentially be a captain option if Haaland ain't back from injury, fully back from injury, and Salah is still injured or Egypt are still in the AFCON. On the bench for defence, again, pretty expensive. I've gone for Gabriel. I think the main reason is that Arsenal are likely to be playing in game week 29. Their fixtures are not amazing, I'd say, up until then. Forest away, Liverpool at home, West Ham away, Burnley away, Newcastle at home, Sheffield United away, and then Brentford and Chelsea at home in 29. They're not the nicest fixtures, but I think having that potential fixture in game week 29, the likelihood of that fixture is pretty high, I'd say. There is a chance for that to happen. So that's why I've decided to keep an Arsenal defender in this wildcard draft. Also, I do think that yes, they went through a bit of a slip, lost a few games in a row, didn't win, but they've won one since game week 16, which was Brighton, and then obviously they just beat Crystal Palace at home, but they lost to West Ham, Fulham, drew to Liverpool, and lost to Aston Villa. So they have lost a few games recently, but I think they're going to start to pick up form again. And I think Gabriel is a good player to have for the long haul. I've also gone for a bit of a different pick. So I've gone for Craig Dawson, the Wolves defender. I think Wolves are going under the radar at the minute. I know defensively They're probably not the best defensive team in the league, but I'm not sure anyone is. They did keep a clean sheet against Brighton, who are a very good attacking team, and a clean sheet against Everton in game week 20. And Craig Dawson did score as well, so he ended up getting a 14-pointer, which was incredible. Um, and he does pick up a few bonus. He got a couple of bonus against Chelsea in game week 17, I think it was. Okay, game week 18. I think he can be a really nice option. Also, he plays in game week 26. Not too sure about 29. Doesn't look like he'll play, but there is a likelihood of him having a double game week in 34, which is 2 home games, Arsenal and Bournemouth at home. So that's the reason I've got him for the long haul. Can he be a player that does have a double game week? The next up is the midfield. The midfield is, I'd say, a bit of a different midfield. So we'll start off with, I guess, some of the main talking points. So I have got Kevin De Bruyne in there. I feel like with Haaland not playing any minutes in the FA Cup game against Spurs, not playing any minutes in the league, I feel like it's too soon to put Haaland back in the team. So that gives room for De Bruyne. Also, with Salah's injury, that gives room for De Bruyne as well. And I think it could be a really, really nice differential for people that are on the wild card that can go for that little bit of difference. For example, if people without their wild card are maybe a little bit hesitant because of the fact they might have to take him out in a couple of weeks, or if he doesn't start, hit the ground running or start playing consistently after 1 or 2 game weeks, and they might get a bit, I guess, impatient. But by being on a wild card, you have, I guess, you can bring him in for free. It doesn't really cost you anything, and you can just move him out with one of your free transfers if you're really that worried about it when Salah does come back, etc., etc. So I think for now it can be a really nice differential. I think he does start against Burnley at home. I think it's time for him to make his first start. We've seen what great stuff he did when he came on against Newcastle in game week 21, played 21 minutes, got a goal and assist, and got 12 points. So we've seen him do it in 21 minutes. Although I don't think he will start every single game, I think he starts against Burnley, maybe misses out against Brentford, then starts against Everton at home, and then is he ready to play the double game week both games? Potentially. I think by then he would have about a month of training and playing some minutes. And I think he will be will be doing that. So for me, I do think it is a nice option to have in your team. And like I said, Man City do have a double game week in game week 25. So potential captain option if Haaland isn't back by then. We've also gone for Foden. I don't love the double Man City midfield attack slash attack, but I just not sure on what defender to get at the moment. I think potentially if maybe Salah does come back, or a Richarlison or a Son come into the picture, or maybe some more double game weeks get announced, then potentially Foden can leave. But I think for now he is one of the best Man City options, and I think he will start most games. Yes, De Bruyne coming back, which is a bit of a funny situation, as I've said, to put him in your team will um kind of, I guess, influence the minutes Foden does play. However, I do think Foden is more suited to the right side, so playing on the right wing. So I'm not too worried, and we've seen Foden kind of deliver, especially the last, I guess, 3-4 game weeks where he's got an assist against Palace, goal against Everton, 2 assists against Sheffield United, and he did blank against Newcastle. But Foden can do it, and I think he does look really, really good for the double game week and for the next few fixtures for Man City. Also gone for Diego Jota. Yes, he obviously Liverpool do blank in game week 26 because of the Carabao Cup final, but they do have a double game week before that. Jota has kind of just come back from injury. He started in game week 21. And yeah, what a game week it was for him. 2 goals, 1 assist. Even when he played 26 minutes in game week 20, he got 2 assists. He played 6 minutes in game week 19 and he got a goal. So Jota is very, very clinical, and to be honest, I don't think he needs many minutes or chances to get on the score sheet. You could say it is a bit worrying with the amount of options Liverpool have up front with Darwin Núñez, Diaz, Gakpo, Salah potentially coming back maybe around game week 25, game week 26. Izzy's days numbers, probably, but I think Jota is yeah, Liverpool's best finisher. I think he gets the nod over Darwin up front when it is an option between the two. I think he's playing too good at the moment to be dropped, and for 7.8%, I think he can be a really nice differential for a team that is wildcarding and being a bit aggressive. Also put Anthony Gordon in there. I know Newcastle haven't been um, doing great at the moment. I think 6.1 million he is, but he's still been delivering. So they've lost the last 4 games and they've only won one in the last 7. But he got a goal against Man City, an assist against Liverpool in game week 20, an assist against Fulham in game week 17. So he has still been picking up the goals and assists. And even so far this season as a whole, 7 goals, 7 assists, I think is incredible. And Newcastle's fixtures do turn to be really, really good. Yes, their next fixture is not the best. Villa away is really, really tough, but Luton, Forest away, Bournemouth at home do look really, really good after that in the next 3. And yeah, they're probably not going to blank in game week 29, but potential for a free hit in that game week anyway. So I won't be worrying too much. Them 3 fixtures after the Villa away game probably too good to pass by. And to be honest, Newcastle need to up their form and start performing very soon because yeah, they're going to be in trouble if not. Palmer is in the team, yes, although Chelsea do blank in game week 26. I think for his price point, whether you got him for 5.5 million, it's gone up to 5.8 now, whether you got him for 5 million, I think it's still a keep just because of his price. He's delivered the last 2 game weeks, 18 points and 10 points. And for me, yeah, it'd be a little bit stupid not to have him in your team. Yes, Liverpool away next, but then they've got Wolves at home, Palace away. Then they've got Man City away and a blank. So there is potential to take him out before that Man City game. However, I wouldn't be doing that before Wolves at home and Palace away. Palace have been shocking recently. Wolves are a decent side, but Chelsea will be at home. So you got to fancy them in that one, I guess. And yeah, for me, for that price point, he's a definite in that team. So up front, I'd say a little bit different again. I've tried to be very, very aggressive with this wildcard team, picking players that some people may be hesitant on, that you think would do well and have good fixtures and potentially have a double game week. And I think Ivan Toney does tick all them boxes. 4.2% owned. He came back for his first start since his ban in game week 21 and got a goal. So yeah, I guess people that didn't move earlier got rewarded for that. But yes, the fixtures are terrible coming up. Spurs away, City at home, Wolves away, and then a double game week of Liverpool at home and City away. And then even after that, West Ham away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Burnley away, Man United at home, Brighton, then Villa away. So really bad, to be honest, really bad fixtures up until game week 33. But I think Toney can score against anyone. And Brentford do really need to pick it up. They've beat Forest last time out, but before that, they lost 5 games in a row. And to be honest, they're really, really struggling. And I think Ivan Toney can be someone that can help bring them back to the form they're used to. Yes, the fixtures are really bad, but some of these teams are not the best defensively. Spurs, I don't trust them to keep a clean sheet at the moment. City have looked a bit better recently defensively. Wolves, I guess, not bad. Liverpool, pretty okay, but teams can score against them. So they can be got at. And obviously, Tony's on penalties and that double game week. It does make him a real nice differential. And I think if you're on a wild card, it would be a really good move to go for him because no one would probably want to take that risk with the fixtures coming up. But because you're on a wild card, you kind of have that leeway to really go for it and really be aggressive with the wild card. We'll talk about João Pedro next. Another player that doesn't have a double, but he has really good fixtures. Luton away, Palace at home, Spurs away, which, like I said, is not the worst for attackers. Sheffield United away, Everton at home, Fulham away, Forest at home. So some pretty good fixtures up until I'd say game week 29, where they are likely to blank, but again, that's not confirmed. With João Pedro, I guess he hasn't done it, I guess, the last few game weeks, but game week 19, he got a 19 pointer, 2 goals and assists. He kind of goes in spurts, 7 goals, 2 assists this season. Um, do I think that he's a solid season keeper? No. But do I think he's good for now? Absolutely. And like I said, for that price point, I don't think you can really go wrong with him. Next up, I've got Julian Alvarez. I did originally have Haaland in this team, but I did swap it for Julian Alvarez because I didn't see Haaland. Haaland didn't play any minutes or be in the squad for that Spurs game in the FA Cup. So for that reason, I can't see him starting against Burnley. So there is enough money in the bank to do Alvarez to Haaland. So for me, I think it's worth just starting with Alvarez and then going Haaland when Haaland does start to play a few minutes. That could not even be game week 22. Maybe he comes off the bench, maybe game week 23, maybe game week 24. Maybe that's even just before the double game week in 25. There's always a risk with this kind of transfer because you're taking out Alvarez for Haaland, where if Haaland doesn't play, Alvarez is a really, really good option. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because if it goes wrong, it's going to go really wrong. If it goes well, it's going to go really well because probably Alvarez is going to be the one dropping out for Haaland. So for me, I just rather have that guarantee that Haaland has played at least a few minutes and maybe even gotten a start before I brought him in. I just don't think it's worth that risk at the moment. And that's why I have gone for Alvarez. Let me know what you think of this wildcard draft. Smash a like on this video, subscribe to, and leave a comment below what you reckon. Rate it out of 10, and I'll catch you in the next video.